showcase something a little bit different. So here it shows a little bit more of my template. We see the blood pressure from an arterial line up on the red top panel and the heart rate in the middle. And then here we see the oxygenation. And what happened here around the 6 to 7 o'clock mark is really interesting. There was a sudden decrease in the patient's oxygenation with everything else kind of looking stable. And what was interesting about this case was what happened was I had maybe left somewhere in the evening when the patient's oxygenation was normal. I came in around 7 and I saw on our electronic chart that the oxygenation was lower than when I had left. But how quickly it had changed and what exactly precipitated it was unclear. And even when I talked with the bedside nurses and team who were at the bedside, they thought this had been a progressive change, which does lead me down one differential for what could have been happening with the patient. But when I reviewed the data, the truth is sort of here in front of your own eyes, like something happened between 6 and 7 that caused me to change. And then further questioning, you realize, oh, this is about the time that the nurses are getting their patient ready for the next day's shift. And, their nurse, being a really good nurse, was changing the dressings on the neck, including on the ECMO cannula. And even, I mentioned before, even small movements, awakening of patients can cause like life-threatening instability. Just turning the patient's head a little bit where this big cannula was sitting to change the dressing actually caused a change in the position of the cannula that was very precariously positioned within the heart, and we saw this sudden change. So actually, that was very helpful, and I knew right away that what we needed to do was go to the bedside and just adjust the position of the cannula. So kind of saved us the trouble from troubleshooting things with the ECMO machine, things that might have to do with blood pressure or, heart rate control. We could kind of get right to the problem immediately. And so I thought this was really a way to review the data and get a history of what had happened that was maybe even more accurate than just asking people who were at the bedside the whole time.
Well, what a revelation.